Well, this morning we have William Sherer II running for Canton Mayor on the Democratic side. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Pam. How are you?
I'm good. Glad to
Good.
have you in today.
It's a pleasure to be here.
So, for folks who may just be hearing about you, hearing your name, tell them a little bit about yourself.
So my name is William Sherer II. I've been a lifelong resident of the city of Canton. My family dates back in the city over 110 years. I'm very proud to say that I was born here, I raised my family here, and I still continue to live in the city. I graduated from McKinley in 1988, so I'm a product of public schools, not charter. I want to stress that. My When I graduated from McKinley, I was a typical 18-year-old kid that I had no plan and no clue, and what I wanted to do with my life. And my family, my grandfather and my father were the head of the Ironworkers Union in Canton, and so I got accepted into the Ironworkers Apprenticeship immediately after high school. Completed a 4-year apprenticeship program and kind of worked my way up through the ranks. And all I ever wanted to do was follow in my father's footsteps. And so I've been the head of our union for the last 18 years, as my grandfather and my father was. And I've been married to my wife, Carrie, for 24 years, and we have 3 daughters, and we have 2 beautiful grandchildren now. And all my kids live in the city again. Actually, my daughter and my son-in-law just built a house in the city a block away from us, which
That's always nice, isn't
no, it
it?
is absolutely so.
So, you were appointed to president of council, correct? When Alan Schulman passed away.
Yes.
Talk about that venture into politics to city serving, all of those things.
So I've been engaged in Kansas City politics my entire life, and I actually get it honest from my father. Being with the Ironworkers Union, we get very, very politically active, and we do support Democrats and Republicans. We do. And I remember when I was a kid helping my father put up 4x8 sheets of plywood, helping Jim Gwynn, which is now a federal judge, and that was a long, long time ago.
Yeah.
And so when I decided, when Alan Schulman passed away, Alan was a dear friend of my family, was a staple in our community, and I was approached by all people by Mayor Burnaby for my, if I was interested in being appointed for the position. So I got the appointment for the position, and then I had to run against Joe Martuccio, which Joe will always be a gentleman. Joe is a class
Good
act.
guy. Yes.
Absolutely is.
Yes.
But I was basically running against a guy that was on the ballot for 25 or 30 years, and we were successful to win that election. So I've been the Canton City Council president for a little over 5 years, and when Mayor Burnaby decided that he decided not to run again, I thought it was a good time to maybe see what we can do to help move this city forward.
So as you sit as council president, you don't cast a ballot unless there's a vote, unless there's a tie.
Yes.
But you could sit back and kind of see how things were going through all the processes. Tell me a little bit about what you learned from that.
Well, obviously, the duties of the council president are to run the meeting, and I have not had the chance to vote on anything because there hasn't been a tie vote. I mean, the majority of the votes were passed by 90% of the council members on council. But it gave me an eye-opening experience to see the day-to-day operations of the city and see how we're moving the city forward. I think when the mayor first got in there, the focus needed to be around downtown, and it did. I mean, it really needed it. And I believe that downtown is heading in the right direction. But that's part of the reason why I decided to run for mayor, because I really believe that we need to change our focus. Our focus has to be about safety, number one, and we have to start investing in our neighborhoods.
Talk about, and when you bring up safety, we saw at City Council last night, the police chief, brought us up to date on crime statistics in the city. So when I talk to people, that's the shootings, the homicides, all of those things are the things that they're concerned about, and that goes back to neighborhoods as well. But I mean, what thoughts do you have on or ideas to try and combat that or do a better job of it?
We need to be able, I want to stress this, that Chief Gabbard is the guy that we need. There is no doubt about that. But we need to make sure that he has every tool in his toolbox to keep our community safe. The first issue that we have is the staffing levels for Canton PD. There is no comparison. Being a cop in North Canton is not like being a cop in Canton at all. There's no comparison. And the challenge that Canton PD and CPPA is having right now, so by the time they sign a kid up, they run them through the academy. It's probably about 12 to 13 months before they get all their certifications, before they can actually put them on the street. Then once these kids are getting a taste of what it's like to be in law enforcement in the city of Canton, they're figuring out this is not for me. When they can go to Louisville and have less drama and make more money, and that tells me that it's going to take all of us putting our heads together. Number one, how do we get them here? Now, we already raised the starting pay for the cadets to make it more attractive. But number two, how can we keep them here? And along with Y-Fiber, I know some of the other candidates that talk about some of the investments that the city is going to make. Y-Fiber is going to be huge for cameras and everything else. But I really believe that Chief Gabbard, with the direction that he wants to go with community outreach, that is going to help us down the road. But we need to make sure that he has every resource available to keep our community safe.
So I hand you the keys and say, "You won. You're the mayor. What's the first thing that you do?"
The first thing that my administration would do is we need to make sure that Chief Gabbard has the tools that he needs to keep our community safe. The second thing that we need to do is we need to start investing in our neighborhoods and making sure that those issue 13 dollars are being allocated to our neighborhoods. It's easy for me to say that if we want to start investing in someone's neighborhood, that we can start by paving their street and we can go from there. I know that we are paving more roads than we ever have, but I believe that we can do more.
And as you look around the city, you see Centennial Plaza. We know the money that the city has loaned to the Hall of Fame Village. People will talk about that. Some folks, they're happy that that's happening and see the benefits of it. Others are pave my roads, keep me safe.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure I'm in favor of all of that. Where do you stand there?
I believe that some of the investments that we have made with the Hall of Fame, like, with the DoubleTree, that was a substantial investment. I know a couple candidates have made a comment that we gave them a loan, and I want to stress that we did. But I believe the Hall of Fame is heading in the right direction, and we need them to be successful. This city is not the same city. When my father graduated from Timken High School 60 years ago, and you went to work anywhere that you wanted. Now, while those days are over, we need to protect the assets that we have. But when you talk about our younger generation, we need to have programs for our kids while they're in school, but we need to have economic opportunities for them when they graduate, or they're not going to stay here. And I believe that the Hall of Fame is heading in the right direction, and we need them to be successful, absolutely. But if we're not, if we're going to have a thriving city, we need to have a safe city first.
And I'll ask you this quickly before I ask my final question.
Yes.
You're a McKinley grad.
Yep.
Um, there's a different vibe at football games and things than there has ever been in the past.
Yep.
And I mean, what kinds of things can you do to help that get better?
So we need to be able to support Jeff Talbert, the superintendent with Kansas City Schools. And we need to make sure that employment opportunities are there for those high school seniors. To give you an example, not every kid's going to go to college, not every kid's going to go in the military, and we've had a direct pipeline for Kansas kids into the Ironworkers Apprenticeship for over 25 years, and with that direct relationship with Kansas City Schools. And just not with the ironworkers, with the building trades in a sense as a whole. But we need to make sure that we have a viable school system. Every school levy, my entire life has been surrounded about supporting our community, from supporting park levies to school levies. Even though being Canton City Council president, I don't have anything indirectly involved with the school system. We're all interconnected, whether we want to admit it or not.
Yeah.
And we need the schools to be successful if we're going to move the city forward. If somebody wants to move their family here, the first thing they're going to think about is, where are my kids going to go to school?
And I'll ask you the question I ask everybody else. Why should somebody vote for you come May 2nd?
I am not a career politician. I think that gives me an advantage above my candidates to see what direction the city needs to go. I can never compare my political resume to the Tom Bernabys of the world, or even Bill Smuckler or Tom West, but I will put my work ethic against any of those candidates. I look at my track record that Our Union Hall is located in the heart of the Shore neighborhood, one of the most targeted neighborhoods in the city of Canton. For the last 15 years, we acquired 7 properties because we needed the land. We never asked the city for the dime, demoed the houses. We put a $3 million addition up on our apprenticeship and training center so we can take more of Canton's kids in, because not every kid's going to go to college and not every kid's going to go in the military. What other candidate has made a substantial investment in one of the most targeted neighborhoods in the city of Canton? And I would like to, the vision that I have is we have to start investing in our neighborhoods one block at a time. And it's going to take all of us. It's going to take everybody bringing fresh ideas to the table. It's going to take, it's not a Democrat or Republican issue. I truly believe that Democrats and Republicans can work together on a local level, but it is going to take all of us to move the city forward. And I believe it all starts in our neighborhoods.
Well, we wish you the best of luck, and I appreciate you coming in today.
No, thank you. Thank you very much, Pam.